Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and we're going to have a great day here on a Tuesday. I have a gentleman that is absolutely retroly blazing a trail for himself, like Back to the Future, hitting that trail, slipping on that button, making everybody want to love it even more. Dave, introduce yourself. And sir, introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
Throw 'em up! My name is Vintage Danny Vintage. I'm a blast from the past, nostalgic nerd, and I'm ready to take over again. Take over your TV channel, one station at a time.
Amazing, dude. Amazing. So, what made you get into professional wrestling?
Well, that is a long story. The true story, the Vintage Danny Vintage origin story, is around COVID. I went to a wrestling school and went to sign up. The next day, lockdown happened. No joke. I am not kidding at all. I went to a wrestling school, was ready to sign up. Next day, lockdown. So what did I do? I just started working out in my garage, lifting weights, lifting up TV, VHSs, VCRs, tube TVs, any weight I could lift up, get stronger, get bigger. Got that cardio going. I was running on the treadmill while watching TV series, watching episode after episode of Seinfeld, just running on the treadmill, getting that cardio going. Eventually, lockdown ended, went back to that wrestling school, was a different person, and was able to keep up immediately. From day one, was able to do whatever they were asking me to do. It caught them off guard because it's not easy. It is not easy doing what they do. And I was able to keep up, and slowly and surely was able to get in that ring. And it took some time and eventually, after training with some great trainers, Sho Funaki, JP Harlow, they got me to where I am now, and I'm able to wrestle. And that is the pretty crazy road to got Vintage Danny Vintage here.
Wow. Awesome. So, when you first found this school that you settled on, what were your thoughts when you first walked through the doors? Did you have the thought against thinking of doing it? Were you always set on this school, or did you find was there like anywhere that were like when you were looking? How did you find the school?
I did my research, and I knew that Sho Funaki had a school in San Antonio. I sent him an email. He didn't reply. I'm sure just went through the wayside with all the other WWE emails that he has in there. So time passed. I did a little bit more research. I found two schools. There's two great schools here in San Antonio. I won't talk bad about anything here in San Antonio. There was two schools, and I decided based off the it was based off, I think literally that week, Sasha Banks and Bailey had been at one school, and the other school didn't have Sasha and Bailey. And I was like, there's the WWE Association. If that's where this person's going to train, maybe that's where I should go to train. And that kind of answered my question because it was a very much which school should I go with? Did not know what to expect from either or. But again, when I did show up, it was a culture shock. I had no idea what to expect. Literally day one, there was no ring time. There was no wrestling in the ring. There was no, rolling, flipping. It was 30 days of cardio, of 50 squats, 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 butt kicks or jumping jacks or high knees. If you did not do your 5 of 50, you did not get in that ring. And that was my goal. I within that 30 days, I was able to do that 5 of 50, and I got in that ring on day 31.
Awesome. So what would you say would have been like the most difficult part of the whole training process?
Wow, the most difficult part of the training is just the mental part. Honestly, you would think the physicality would be the hard part. You would think that um, bumping and getting your butt kicked every day would be the hard part, but the mental part is really what is the toughest part. Pushing through those injuries, finding your new limits, finding out how strong you really can be, what's really inside. That is the hardest part. I've seen guys bigger than me come and go. I've seen guys stronger than me come and go. I've seen guys faster, younger, come and go. But at the end of the day, vintage. I'm not talking about it about anybody, but at the end of the day, I am still here. So that is that's the hard part about that. The hardest part is can you keep pushing through the people telling you sometimes that you're not good enough. The people in the same room, you seeing them excel, even you seeing other people succeed and get to that next level, and you might be a step or two behind. And they say comparison is the thief of joy, and that's the hard part. You have to figure out you're not them, you're you, and you have to test yourself and push yourself to be better than you were yesterday, not better than they were yesterday. And that's what really kept me going. Is I knew these things about myself. I think I got lucky starting wrestling a little later in life, in my 30s, that I was able to know these things about myself already and be a little bit mentally tougher than some of these other younger guys. And I really do think that's what helped keep me pushing through the rigorous wrestling schedule and demands that are asked of you.
Awesome. So let's go into this whole character. Like, was it always this? Did you always have this idea, or was there something before you came up with this Danny person? Because I love the eight. I grew up in the 90s. As I said before, when we were in the green room, I grew up in the 80s, raised in the 90s, survived the 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, did you have the idea of this whole thing, or was there something before that light would switch went on?
Man, that's another great question. Through training, because it was a long road, the guys and us that you're going through training with, you're pitching ideas with, doing promos with each other in the back, in between water breaks and whatnot. And I had some awful character ideas. I had a list of different ideas that I thought would work out. Again, my school is a very or the school that I went to at the time, they kind of had a set mold of like tough guy wrestler vibe. And I don't know if that you could tell that I don't really put out that tough guy vibe, nor do I pretend to be, nor do I think I could pretend to be. So I really always wanted to do something funny. People always said like Kurt Angle is one of the greatest wrestlers out there. And I agree, because he is a great comedian or comic wrestler. I think he does the best of both worlds of being an insane athlete and also being incredibly entertaining. And that's what I wanted to be. I just wanted to be the funny guy and entertain and make people laugh. And I say even now that I am a comedian, but my body is my punchline. And that's what I do to get my laughs. And that's where I got here. But man, there were some bad ideas. I had an idea about like being obsessed with the color purple. I was called like the Violet Vanguard, the Purple Prince of Pain, the Periwinkle. I had just lists of variations of colors of purple that I would say that I would be. And I would just, joke that I'd beat people black and blue or purple and this and that and the other. But then the idea, JP Harlow, with just getting to work with him, he was a great creative mind, a great wrestler, and a great comedian who was able to do exactly that, add these elements of being a technical wrestler and be a great entertainer. And after getting to train with him almost, after working with Sho Funaki for a while, you kind of go to your seasoning coach that gets you kind of more ready for just after your basic rolls and bumps and drills. And and he was kind of my, let's put some spice on all that. What are you? What do you want to be? And so we pitched ideas, and this idea formed initially, and I thought it'd be funny to kind of like say your character, like this example of a buddy of mine, Joey Hyder. We call him the Vanilla Gorilla. So I went in the ring, no idea what to do. As Vintage Danny Vintage, it had not existed, but I was doing a Steve Irwin accent, as if I was trying to catch this Vanilla Gorilla, as if I was trying to like hunt this, as I was a nature host. But each TV show would be based off the guy I'd be wrestling, and that was kind of where the idea formed. And it didn't really stick because you're not doing the same thing, and it doesn't really give the audience anything to latch onto. And then one audience might think you're the Australian guy, one audience might think you're a vampire. So I really had to figure that out, and then I just went with the 90s, like the TV stuff, and like being obsessed with what, watching TV, being left on in front of the TV as a kid. Your mom goes to work and you're flipping through the channels, and one day you stumble across wrestling and you see these giant, larger than life figures, and you're like, that's what I have to do. I have to get on the TV to, get more power or money, or, that's kind of how the idea of Vintage Danny Vintage formed. Was like, I'm obsessed with TV to the point where I want to be on TV, and wrestling is how I'm going to get on TV, because I've seen champions on, when I was left as a kid watching TV. That's kind of the origin story of Vintage Danny Vintage, the latchkey kid, just just raised by TV. Kind of you ever seen the movie Cable Guy with?
I love the Cable Guy.
Another thing that's funny about wrestling, when people are like, "Hey, what's your biggest influence? Who's your biggest favorite wrestler?" And my biggest inspiration in wrestling is Jim Carrey, because of these characters that he could play. And that was kind of where I took that element of Vintage Danny Vintage. Also, this kind of guy that was molded by the TV, and then I got the remote. I figured out the remote gimmick where I could pause people and do stuff to them while they're paused, hit play, they react, and the crowd has this huge reaction. And I was like, bingo, we got gold. That's that. And then as soon as I figured that out, I just found out different ways to pause people and do that. And that was kind of the formation. And then it was not an overnight process. Like I just explained, it was a bad idea, purple guy, Australian, Steve Irwin gimmick, Tim the Tool Man gimmick, and then finally figured out just TV altogether. That's kind of how that all came about.
The outfit you wear with the white pants, with the stripes on, that's perfect 90s attire. But my question for you is, did you have to go to one of those old consignment shops to find that stuff? Or did you know somewhere that somebody that makes attire, did they make that gear for you, or was that made by you?
Honestly, the honest truth is Amazon, dude. Amazon. I just Googled 90s clothes, and I was able to find matching sets. And that's the hardest part about wrestling too, is gear is so expensive. And I was able to have different outfits every other show that it made me stick out. And I had this color gear. I have a split black and white gear that's the same. And it really allowed me to push immediately with that gear. You get the 90s vibe right away. So I just really leaned into that as much of that I could get. I was like, oh, more pants, more shirts, more pants, more shirts.
That's crazy, because most people think, oh, we're gonna find this gear immediately, and dang well. Did you have to search for a long time? I know you probably did. They had to search for a long time to find.
I was doing a little bit of the idea of getting this look, yes, because initially I had some black splatter paint gear that I wore in my very first match, and after that I was like, this is not the look. You see the pictures of yourself and you're just like, that ain't vintage, that ain't me. Initially I bought tights, black tights and kick pads, and I took a picture and I sent that to my coach, and he's like, that ain't Vintage Danny Vintage. Vintage Danny Vintage doesn't wear tights. And then my JP also, he was like, dude, look into like JP would call me Vector. He'd call me Vector from what was it? What was that movie? Gosh, freaking the Despicable Me. He'd call me Vector. So then I looked into jumpsuits that were like the old '90s Reebok or the Adidas jumpsuits. I looked into those. That was kind of the first iteration of my gear, was like the full body. Even now, you see why it's like matching top, matching bottom, and that's what I did too. I had like just a plain purple, like the, I can't think of the exact word, like the tracksuits, like the tracksuits. So I had like a purple tracksuit, like a silly pattern tracksuit. Again, matching top, matching bottoms, and again, it was just like, this is almost there. And then I finally found this look after just like, again, doing like the 90s, looking up different 90s things, and then finally was like, okay, that's the look. And now I do have pro gear. I have a great gear maker. Shout out to Scarlet Queen. I can't remember where she's from, but she's a great gear maker. If you need gear, timely manner, reasonably priced, just quick shout out, Scarlet Queen. Awesome. I really hope I got that tag right. I will.
Oh boy. Somewhere she's like, no, smashing the whole computer.
She's like, it's Red Scarlet Queen, damn it.
Computer just smashed, and it's like the screen's still able to see the show, because that's what we want. We don't want the computer to be like, keep the screen. Maybe the computer is just having a seizure because it's still showing the podcast, right, and I'm getting a view. Don't let everything else get destroyed. Destroy the keys, but don't destroy the screen. It's important. Like a TV, right. You need to keep the TV. As your characters in 90s, and do you still have, that's the big fun question, do you still have videotapes? Because I have lots.
Oh man, I wish I still had VHS tapes. That just took up too much space. I probably do have some back at like my mom's house. I probably have some there, like where I do have some of like even my toys as a kid, like my wrestling figures as a kid. I've got Game Boys, I got Super Nintendos, Nintendo 64s. I've got pretty much all like the old school consoles. I got really into like records and like collecting vinyl, so I have a big record collection. VHSs. I have a lot of TVs also. I have tube TVs. I have flat screen TVs. I've got plasma screens. I have TV monitors. I have probably 3 monitors just in this room that aren't even being used as TVs, and then I have 3 in the bedroom. Like I'm a little bit of a hoarder with the TVs because I figure I can use them in like a skit or a bit, and I'm always like, it's already broken. It'd be really cool if we do, and then I end up just hoarding TVs. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, you know, one day we'll use them.
Awesome. So who has been your toughest competitor in your career so far?
Jeez. Shout out to Rob Love. Very first,
like the actor?
Not Rob Lowe. I did make that joke when we wrestled. Rob Love, my very first wrestling match. Another great guy. Helps run a wrestling promotion here in San Antonio. Shout out to United 2-0 on the South Side. They're great. Love everybody there. But Rob Love was my very first match, and probably I would say was my, and I've wrestled with him a couple times as well. I want to say he was probably my most formidable opponent. You know, dude is a 10-year vet. He wrestled at NXT pre-Black and Gold era. San Antonio legend. He is a great wrestler through and through, and JP joked around with me and would really try to like psych me out almost and like over prepare me for that match. And he would be like, hey, do you think Rob Love's going to do this? Do you think Rob Love's going to do that? And really tried to, and so maybe that is why it was kind of got in my head. But I would say Rob Love would be one of my favorite opponents. Loved wrestling that guy. Another person I would that I have wrestled that was really great, Jay Young, another podcast guest you've had. Great opponent. Wrestled him at United 2-0. Armani Sage, another great wrestler I've wrestled here in San Antonio at Hybrid School of Wrestling. Those would probably be my top three that I'd say would have been my best favorite matches. Rob for being my first match, Jay for being one of my first victories, and just a great opponent, somebody I've trained with and loved sharing the ring with, and Armani, just a great character, great match. We really had a lot of fun and also kicked each other's butts.
Awesome. For you, does it ever like make you want to go back and look what you've done in the beginning to see where you are now?
Oh man, no. No, I don't. So my very first matches, pre-remote. This is pre-remote. So what is it like? BC. This would be PR, right? Pre-remote for me. I was just wrestling and was just another wrestler. The character wasn't really fully formed yet. I had the throw 'em up catchphrase, and I would just do this and say throw 'em up, but I didn't really have the full pause thing and the real full in a way to grab the audience. So after wrestling my first couple matches, I think it was 4 or 6, I can't remember. It was really early on in my career that I got a concussion, and I was out and I was on the shelf for about 9 months. And then while I was out, I was able to kind of think. And then when I came back, first match had the remote, and then that's when I really think things clicked for me, when I had the remote. And so I don't look too fondly back on those matches. I mean, they were great wrestling wise, but I really don't see vintage Danny vintage in those matches. I just see me wrestling as Danny. But once around, it was Troy Markham was my first match back, and then where I used the remote, and then I used it in a battle royal at United. And once I used the remote and paused, my buddy Animo got a huge reaction. And then the next day, I was working another show, and immediately they're coming up to me. They're like, "Hey, you got your remote?" And I was just like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We want you to pause us." And I was like, "Awesome." That's when I knew I got him. Whenever people were asking me to pause them, rather than whatever. Like, it was just like, "Hey, I have this idea to do this." It was like, "Hey, man, you're pausing me tonight, right?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, we got something here. We got something." When the other wrestlers are like, "I want to do your thing," then you got kind of something special there.
Yeah, it's something with wrestling. Everybody has a certain things they do. So for you, when you travel, do you like travel? Does your promotion travel a lot for shows, or do you?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. Do you guys travel a lot for shows, or do you do a lot of it at the place you do your training? Is that a location that you do shows a lot, or do you travel?
Right now, the school that I used to go to, they still have regular shows there every month at their location off of Eckerd in San Antonio. They still have monthly shows. All those guys are awesome. They're killing it. But right now I'm kind of doing the traveler, and we're trying to get to some new places that we haven't been to before. So it's kind of wandering around and finding new places and seeing if we can find a new home. But yeah, Hybrid, they had shows weekly, or I'm sorry, monthly. United would have shows monthly. Right now, I'm on I wrestle for the Wrestle Shop, and they have a show probably every 2 weeks. SWA, they are also just based in San Antonio. They have a show every month. But right now, I'm working in San Antonio. I've got a show in Uvalde in October. So I'm kind of wandering around, but my school, or the school I used to go to, I should say, they kind of just stay there. But right now, I'm kind of trying to, let some other people see the Vintage Danny Vintage show.
Yeah. So the day before your show, are you a early bird when it comes to getting your stuff together, or are you a last minute Lucy?
Oh, dude, I'm like overly prepared. I'm the guy that's got their gear bag packed and ready by the door the night before, and I'm overly prepared. I just get really anxious about stuff, so I try to like do as much as I can to like overly prepare, so I don't have to worry about that type of stuff. Because man, I'm like I'm like checking the tire pressure the night before. I got the bag packed, gears in there. Double checked. I got my socks, my shirt, making sure I'm not missing nothing.
Do
But
you have
so I'm a little. I'm
snacks in the
definitely
car?
over.
Do you pack snacks?
Oh man, I love snacking on. Right now, I'm just snacking on protein bars,
Ooh,
and I'm trying
okay.
trying to get a little bit dial the diet back in. But whenever I'm not being good, dude, man, I got a sweet tooth. So gummy bears, sweet tarts, shoot, I'm all for the those Albanese. What are they? Those one special gummy bears. Those Albanese ones. Those are really good. The white bag one.
Ooh.
Those are really good. But I try to be good about snacking. But yeah, I can definitely get overboard. I think the last road trip we were on, I packed. I went to Houston for the Nine Inch Nails concert last Friday, and I packed my chicken because I got a personal trainer and all that, and he's got me watching my diet and doing all this. So I had my Tupperware full of chicken, and I ate it. But then I stopped at Buc-ee's on the way home, which is I don't know if
The
y'all have a.
Bucksters.
Yeah, exactly. So I stopped at Buc-ee's. I had shared a little bit of a chop brisket sandwich and had a couple little snacks on the way home. So I think even at the concert, I had some nachos. I try not to snack too bad, but yeah, definitely I can go overboard with the snacks easy.
Awesome. That's good to hear that you like to pack the day before. I've had a lot of a lot of wrestlers. They're like, I'm a last minute Lucy. They'll not admit it, but they'll admit it. Like, I'm last minute. I'm like, how do you
No.
do that to yourself? Like, what if they like? Have you ever got to a show and like have you ever like when you're wrestling someone? Do you ever ask them what color gear do you had so you don't have like a wrestler wearing the same white pants, and then you get to the show and they're wearing the white pants with pink in it, and you're like.
I do. No, yeah, I usually try to keep 3 sets with me. I have a white set, I have a black set, and then I have a pink set. So I'm always prepared because I like you're exactly, dude. I'm overly prepared. I'm ready. But my tag. Oh, you're working a tag. Hey, buddy, what color are you wearing? Blah 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 blah. Oh, my gear's got blue in it. We got matching. Cool. You know what I mean? So
You want to be a subliminal tag team? Like, are these people really best friends?
I've been put in some ragtag tag teams for sure, but yeah, me and my buddy Animo, we try to like force it. We're like, yeah, vintage lucha, the '90s guy with the luchador. Like, yes, we're we're a real tag team.
It's crazy.
I made a joke that we're like a long lost brother. I had tried to like make an origin story that we're long lost brothers from the Nacho Libre school, and he was like our priest or whatever the kid, the guy that runs the convent or whatever he was, right? Nacho Libre. I was like, yeah, Nacho Libre was our great uncle, and we're kids from the orphanage, and now we're wrestlers. And me and Annie were coming to take over and make our father Ignacio proud. And that was like an origin story I made just so we could like BS our way through, tagging together.
That's awesome. That's crazy because like there's a lot of wrestlers that like their gimmick never sticks. You know what I mean? Like they think that their gimmick's gonna be like sticking to their character, but like some people's characters you can never like have it stick. And do the fans react to you in any way when they see you and ask you like, oh, did you watch this movie in the 90s? Were you that kind of person in the 90s? Like, has anybody ever come up to you and asked you those questions?
It's flipped. I'll go up to fans and I'm like, you ever seen Tool Time? And they're just like, what? I'm just like, ask your dad about Tim the Tool Man Taylor. And then I'll like walk away. So it's they don't know what's going on. sometimes like I worked a convention one time, and it was like the Pokemon and all that stuff, so that kind of worked out. And I did like a Street Fighter bit, since I get to my character kind of can mess around that way. So I did a bit where I swung my friend like Ken doing the spin kick and whatever. So and all the fans, they were getting all into that because of the the video game convention and all that stuff. And then my glasses break, and I'm like trying to put them back together, and then some fans like next to me, and he's like, whatever. And I'm like, you ever seen Tool Time? And I'm just like popping the lenses back into my glasses, and I'm just like, well, I'm Tim the Toolman. And then the kid's like, what? And then just it's more opposite. The kids aren't coming up to me. I'm kind of being really obnoxious in a jokingly way. I'm not I try to be the good guy all the time. I definitely always work baby face. So, but just silly stuff like that. Man, the kids do love it though. The kids love the remote, man. They as soon as they see the remote, that's what gets them. They flip out. I've gone to shows, and then the kids will run up to me. Do you have your remote? Do you have your remote? And I'm just like, nope, not on me. Or whenever I do have it on me, they're like, can I press play? Can I press pause? And I'm just like, only I have the power. Only I can do it. So the remote is kind of what gets them. As soon as they see that, man, they flip out.
So have you used it during the match? I gotta know. Like, let's hear some of the match clip, like with the pause the play button.
Yeah, that is essentially like my main thing. I pause people, and then like while they're paused, I'll do a move to them. I'll do another move to them, and then when I hit play, like the accumulative effect is what hits them all at once. So I'll pause you. I'll do a move. I'll do a move. You'll like stay paused. You'll stay frozen. I'll yell play. And then it just like all hits you at once. That's my superpower through my universal remote. Like it controls the universe. You know what I mean? Controls the universe. So I have the power via universal remote to control the universe. And as long as I'm pointing my remote at you, I can pause you. I can rewind you. I can do slow-mo. I can do fast forward. Anything. I can mute you. Anything that's on that remote, I can use those powers. And I can put them into play. I've done a spot where
is your remote with you today?
I have my remote here with me now.
Let's test it on the mute side of it. Let's see if it works.
Okay, give me a second. Let me go grab it. One moment.
Okay. Uno momento. So don't forget, fans, don't forget to subscribe to the Joe Panther Variety Show. Push the like button. And definitely don't forget to come by tomorrow. We have another interview tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST with Red Bat. That's gonna be a fun Lucha Day episode. Yeah, come out hanging out. Give me a like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook under the Real Dudes at Ringside, and yeah, hang out with the boy with the red glasses, man with the red glasses, and the polo every day of the week. Cause I'm internationally it's a Ringside podcast, and yeah. Oh, there it is. Let's see if it works.
Controls the universe. Here we go. Where's the mute button real quick? Where are we at? Okay, so y'all see right here, the mute. I'm going to hit the mute button. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah! There it goes. Can you hear me now? There it goes.
Yeah, oh, man. Whew.
Okay. See, with this is my magic trick. This is only I can control it. People will pick it up. They'll try to pause me. Doesn't work. But if I press pause, if I press this button right here, me and you're both going to pause. Pause! Play!
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, man.
That easy. So
I got scared for a minute there. There was a bug crawling in my mouth.
Sometimes when I'm really, really hurting, I'll use this rewind feature and I'll super heal myself. I'll go through like a week in time and I'll ease my injuries. So that's something that I can do during matches.
Let's test that really quick.
All right, here we go. We're going to rewind. If your elbow hurts, your knee hurts, hopefully in a week or two it'll feel better. Here we go. Okay, there we go.
Hello there, wrestling fan. Oh, whoa, what just happened? Whoa, that's never happened here on Dudes at Ringside. The episode
Did we
got
just-
flipped to the beginning again.
Oh man, did I hit? Okay, I might have fast forwarded it too far. Actually, that might have been my bad. That might have been my fault.
I had to remember where I was again. My mind went blank. Everybody in my whole family just went, was Joe? Who's Joe? Oh, okay. Now the internet came back. Everybody's still safe. Okay. Nobody died.
We're still here, guys. But that's luckily.
Hopefully you didn't push fast forward. I would have had to go a little.
I hope I did it.
I'm gonna have to say my end liner before we go. If my fans want to pick up anything of yours on the internet, merch, shirts, stickers, any of that stuff, is there anywhere they could find it?
You can see me at shows. Let me get my little list here real quick. I knew I'd have a. So you can see me. I'll have shirts, stickers, and all that stuff. September 27th, I'll be at the Wrestle Shop, 3 p.m. I'm doing double duty on the 27th. I'm wrestling at Wrestle Shop at 3 and SWA at 7. So you got two chances. It's like a replay type deal. You know what I mean? When you watch your favorite show and it's on at 7 o'clock and then a couple hours later it plays again, that's me. You want to watch me this time? I'm there. You want to watch me another time? I'm there. If you miss it, can't really. I mean, you could DVR it. You could. You know what I mean? It's there. But if you want to get some shirts, stickers, I'll be at Wrestle Shop, like I said, on the 27th and SWA at the same night. I'll be at the Santa Chiva show at the Guadalupe Culture Art Center on October 11th. I'll be at Blackbird Pro October 16th with Celine, another guest, and probably Eric Walker, another guest. Hopefully more people will be on the podcast soon as well. October 25th, I'll be in Uvalde in Next Level Wrestling. So plenty of chances to tune in to the Vintage Danny Vintage Show. Please, shirts, stickers, all that stuff. You can maybe see the remote, if that. Maybe I'll let you touch it.
Awesome. I'm thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was so awesome.
Thank you so much for the invite.
With you, Danny. Thank you so much. I am Joe Panther the Third.
I'm Vintage Danny Vintage. Throw him up.
And we will catch you in the next one.
I'll hit stop, okay?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, stop.